Hello and welcome to Pest Perspectives EP76. This, thanks to everyone that's been supporting the podcast recently, that's been liking, sharing, subscribing, and I've noticed on Facebook especially, a lot more people are following. You keep that follow count going up. Let's get right to a 1,000 because it would really help. You get more tools. You do at 1,000, but that's the dream. Maybe one day. But yeah, thanks for all the support recently, especially if you're on Spotify. I've noticed the reviews going up, so if you are listening, there's well more. 14 reviews. I'm well sure we could probably hit 90 with the amount you watch it, but click that button and make it happen. But yeah, so thanks everyone. This week, we've got something a little bit different because I like to cover all facets of pest control. And the business elements, because I've had people that talk about business, how to improve your growth, the numbers, etc. HR, all sorts I've had. But just before I introduce him, I forgot to mention this podcast is sponsored by Powered Now. So if you want to check out Powered Now, it's a job management app that you can track all your staff if you wish when they're out and about. You can send invoices, quotes, you name it, pest control reports, the work. So after the show, there will be a link. You can check it out if you fancy it. But yeah, this week we have on Pete Beaumont. Pete Beaumont from Beaumont Recoveries Limited. I don't know why I said that. It slipped out that way. How you doing?
Yeah, good, mate. You?
Good. I'm okay. Cheers. I've got the fan over there.
Yeah,
it's hot.
It's still hot. Still hot. Even up north, it's hot.
Even up north, you get more wind up there.
Yeah. It's you know what they say. It's grim up north.
But yeah, no. Thanks for agreeing to come on.
Anytime.
It's good of you. It is. So, do you want to tell people what you do within your business, or how you got to running said business, how you first started out, basically?
Yeah. Sorry, my dog's barking.
Right, no worries.
We're a debt recovery company. We work for many companies across the country, sometimes even international. So we are, debt recovery company. And the dog, honestly, typically timed. The dog barks because the neighbour's kids kicked the ball in the garden. And now sit up back. Excuse me a second. Winnie, in there.
No
Winnie, in there. This is the Beaumont Recoveries dog. In there. Go in there.
Beaumont Recoveries dog. There you go.
She's the head of happiness and corporate motivation for the office.
Tell you one thing. Funny if you mentioned dogs. I know it's a slight tangent, but obviously for my company, Oaken Pest Control, we advertise on the radio locally. In Stamford, there's a lady who I know she uses the same software as us because of group. And she goes, "Are you that company? It comes on all the time on the radio because it's got like a bit of a ring bell." My dog goes off. It starts barking. It does. I says, "Yeah, that's us. That's the winter advert, that is." But yeah, sorry, carry on.
Sorry about that. Sorry about the dog situation, but it shows it's live.
There you go. Exactly. It does.
Started Beaumont Recoveries 2014, and when I was younger, I always wanted to be a policeman. I was desperate to be a policeman, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to apply for the police. Didn't get in the police. Decided that kind of always had a bit of a thing for kind of justice and making sure the right things done and people pay for injustice. So got me redundant 2014 from working in sales, marketing, recruitment, etc.
Okay.
And decided to set up with a friend in 2014, just me and a friend. Started out with no money and set up this company in 2014. And and we're still going now. We've got a team growing. I think we're 10, 12 strong now.
That's quite big. That is good. That is.
Yeah, we're decent size business. And we help a lot of companies from one-man bands to multinational and PLCs all over the country and worldwide now.
You must have built a good brand reputation over the years to get big nationals and corporations. And
it takes. Kill this dog, Winnie. In there now. Excuse me, I'm gonna close the door. Winnie.
No worries.
Go on, in there.
Thanks for watching. If you're watching on Facebook, you can say hello. I'm not sure if it's working this week, but Facebook is active.
Kids kicking the ball in the garden. They're going to kill the kids next door. So that's how we started. Started in 2014, and and still going strong today. Just growing, constant recruiting, constantly growing, and
that's good to hear. That is
going well.
That's good to hear. That is. Obviously, you mentioned you help companies from one-man bands to big multinational corporates. You do. Obviously, your role is obviously when somebody hasn't paid a bill, obviously, and it's escalated. So, what do most business owners misunderstand about unpaid invoices and debt recovery, do you think? Because obviously, not everyone's actually, employed your services. Or what do you think people would misunderstand? Because a lot of people don't bother to recover it, and I do. We do, but not this way. We go through the small claims court, but a lot of the time it's a small number. We do it a lot of time out of pure principle. We do as well.
I agree. There's quite a few misconceptions. So first thing, the sad thing about the small claims court is the small claims court doesn't guarantee you anything. No guarantees. All it guarantees is that you'll get a decision whether you're owed the money or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't actually get you paid. It still costs you money. It takes you time and effort to get through the process. And the amount of businesses that come to us who have got a CCJ and go, I've been through a small claims court, I've got a CCJ, I've not been paid. It's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. The amount of people that come to us and say, that's the situation. Okay, so you went through a small claims court. What have you done? Well, I made a claim against a guy called Dan Smith. Okay.
Yeah.
Dan Smith. Is that his name? Yeah, that's what he told me his name was. Okay, so his name's Daniel. That's it. Your CCJ is worth nothing now. Because his name's wrong straight away. Okay?
Yeah.
Very common. Spelling mistakes, errors. So many people make errors on claims because at the end of the day, people who are doing the claims aren't experts in their area. They're experts in what they do for a job. They might be a great builder, build a great wall, fantastic. They're not solicitors and they're not making claims. We don't make claims. I don't make my own claims because I'm not a solicitor. There's lots of potential downfalls that actually could cost you money. If you make a claim incorrectly, you can be liable to them for costs because you've done it incorrectly. So that's one thing, is be cautious about small claims.
Yeah. Okay.
If it is a very small debt under £500, fine. Your risk is low on that.
Yeah.
Over £500, your risk is more. Obviously, getting to thousands, it becomes higher risk. Over 10,000, that's not small claims. That's a multi-track claim. It's not small claims court anymore. The other misunderstanding of our industry is that everything Sam can't pay will take it away. That's what they think.
Everyone's seen that program, haven't they? That program I got into trouble.
So many people too, didn't they? Yeah, they've seen it and go, oh, you're going to go around knocking on the door. That is not what we do. We are not a door-to-door service. The reason being is that it's just unnecessary. It's an unnecessary thing. And actually, all they need to do is, if you go to a debtor's door and knock on the door, all they need to do is close the door and say, go away, leave me alone. Waste your time and efforts. It doesn't get you anywhere. You need to go through the correct process to make sure that you get paid. So as debt collectors, we do the necessary things that actually needs to get you paid. Our job is that's our job, is to get you paid. So we'll go through various things. We'll go through various communications. We'll go through various, we say threats. They're not threats. They're just like offers, and if you don't do this, then this will happen, and etc. etc. So there's lots of that kind of communication going on. But can't pay, will take it away was probably the worst thing to happen in our industry. It just made everything that's what we do. People think that when I mention to people what I do for a job, they go, "Oh, what do you do for a job?" I go, "Oh, I'm a debt collector." All right. And I think I've got a body camera on and a baseball bat and a white van. I have none of that. It's not what it actually looks like. So that's probably the biggest thing. Debt recoveries, but it's probably for me is about not being emotional. So as business owners, for you guys, it's quite an emotional. Being owed money is quite emotive. So you've got to kind of take that emotion out, and that's why it's better to get somebody external to deal with it, because ultimately they're not emotional about the case, and the person you're dealing with doesn't get you riled up because it's not our money. So we take that away for you, and it makes that a lot easier, and it actually helps the debtor realize that we mean business because there's no emotion. We have a saying in our business is that the one who shouts first loses. Yeah. So if they start shouting, you've already won this battle, because we're not going to start shouting. We have a really cool, calm conversation about what should happen, and if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen.
Yeah. Okay. So that you are right, MTV, because it was can't pay, take it away. But there's another one with a guy who used to rumble people to the ground. I can't think of. I can see him in my mind. It used to go with his missus, or he had help.
Was it Dog the Bounty Hunter?
No. There's another. I have to send you it, and if I find it. It was a popular one, but he used to fight people.
No, I don't know.
He used to, I can't remember his name. But it did not help. But thanks for clearing that up, understandings-wise. Hello, Jackie on Facebook.
Hi, Jackie.
Hello to Jason. Thanks for popping in. It's so. Obviously, I imagine that. Here we go. Here's one for you. So why do some customers say, or larger companies, deliberately delay paying smaller businesses? Okay, do you know that one? That's because I imagine a lot of them, if it was another big company after them, they wouldn't act the same way.
Oh no, definitely they don't. Definitely don't. We work in lots of different areas, and a business, and pest control is one of them. But we also work a lot in construction and care homes. Okay. And we see a lot especially in construction, is that you get your larger tier 1 contractors who are basically bullies. They're just bullying the small business. They are subby bashing bullies. That's what they are, and they're doing it. They do it to make more money, cut out the profit for the little guy. And we're not about that. We've done a case recently, and obviously I can't mention names.
No.
Obviously, we've done a case recently for a tier 1 contractor.
Yeah,
they think they're something special. They're saying, do you know who we are? This is what we do. We're a tier 1 contractor. We have a 10 million pound credit limit, etc., etc. And it's just unfair. It's unfair that they treat small businesses like this. And actually, the case we actually collected it. We collected the money from them, and we just said to them, "Say, look, if you don't pay the money, then we'll take action." And in this case, it was an adjudication, which is a construction thing. We'll go through adjudication. Okay. They don't want to go through that. It's painful. It's we dig out all the finances and see where the money's gone to. And actually, what had happened is they'd lost money further up the line. Yeah. And because they lost money further up the line, they were trying to claw it back from the little guys at the bottom, and basically knocking all the little guys, saying, "Well, if we take 10 grand off each of these, we'll get that 300,000 back."
It's crazy, isn't it? Is it also that obviously you can't stay, properly, but are some of them using it as kind of a credit line? ish.
Yeah, they do.
Not.
You do not with the tier ones. The tier ones don't do that.
Yeah,
because the tier ones they're wealthy. But you get some medium businesses that use it as cash flow, so they'll hold your money for cash flow. So yeah, definitely do. And yeah, they just hold it and they'll say, I haven't been paid. Well, paid and unpaid contracts aren't legal. You can't do that. So I haven't been paid. You need to pay this money on to the tradesperson that's done the job. So yeah,
that's and it's the way it should be. It should be. Hi Martin on Facebook. Thanks for popping in, mate. So obviously, can you obviously genuinely tell when obviously someone owes money and they are genuinely struggling to pay you over somebody who generally has got the money, it could pay you, they just don't want to? Can you tell or not?
Do you know what? It is very, very rare that somebody can't afford to pay something that we're doing and we're collecting for. Now that's not necessarily because the markets that we work in. So we don't work in utilities, we don't work in parking fines, we don't work in credit cards, anything like that. We work a lot in the unregulated market. The unregulated market is you've had a bathroom fitted. If someone's had a bathroom fitted, the person can generally afford to have the bathroom fitted, or why would you go and got a bathroom fitted unless you're actually then taking liberties from the tradesperson. So it's quite rare that actually they can't afford to pay it. It's more the fact they don't want to pay it, and our job is to prize the money out of their hands.
Exactly. I see what you're saying, because obviously we've had clients in the past where we are quite obviously fair. If someone's genuine, they're up front. I say like a commercial contract, they're a little bit behind. If they're open and up front, they just tell you we prefer it. But it's when they there's no problem, I'll pay the bill then.
Sometimes it's people that don't communicate. If they don't communicate, what they'll do, they'll just hide and just basically bury their head in the sand. But it doesn't go away. You still owe the money, so you still got to pay it. So yeah, it does happen, but not as common as what we think.
Okay. What are the early warning signs that would suggest a customer may become difficult to collect payment from? Is there any kind of red flags or warnings that you should look out for?
Definitely. So I'm going to break it into two sides because I'm going to go with businesses and I'm going to go with consumers. So they're both got different flags. So different flags for different things. So we'll go with businesses first. If you are working for a business, my advice is credit check them. If you credit check them, you can see their payment history. Okay. You can credit check them. You can see if they've got CCJs. You can see how their payments are. You can see what their credit score is. It also tells you on there when you credit check a company what their credit limit is. So if you are working for a company and you're working to say if you're working to a 30 grand, you do a job up to 30 grand, you can see what they can comfortably pay you back and tells you what their credit limit is. So first thing to do is credit check a company. What I'd also do is check company's house. Now, company's house is totally free. Okay, credit checking is not free. We credit check for customers. They come to us and we do the credit checking for them. But company's house is a really good indicator of what a company. You can't see everything, but you can see some things, which gives you a bit of an insight. Now, what I would do, I'd look at the director, look at the company. Has the director got 20 companies at 19 that have all dissolved? That tells me that they've done something before and they've clearly not paid people before because they dissolved the companies.
Okay.
That's what I would look at initially. For a freebie, I'd look at that and see what they've done and link the companies together and see actually what they're doing. Okay. That's probably my thing for the freebies. For consumers, there's a few red flags. Consumers, the biggest thing that consumers do is asking for a breakdown of your invoice. So if you do an invoice, you do a quote, say, right, I'm going to come and do this. it's going to cost you £500. When it comes to the invoicing at the end, they say, oh, can I have a breakdown of that? That to me is a massive red flag. You've agreed the quote's £500. It doesn't matter how I break it down. It doesn't matter if it's £500 labour or if it's £500 material, it's £500. It's irrelevant. You've agreed the quote's the quote, and you pay the quote, and that's it. So if you're asking for that,
okay,
that's a red flag. You're under no obligation as a company owner to provide that breakdown. Sometimes it's easy to do that, and it's taking slightly the moral high ground and saying, actually, you know what, I'll give you this. This doesn't detract from my quote because you've agreed my quote previously. My quote is £500, and you're going to pay £500, regardless if I paid out £300 in labour and £200 out in materials.
Yeah.
So I would definitely do that. Another red flag is when they're quick to respond before the job is complete. So you'll text them and they respond really quickly and they're keen to get you there. And as soon as you've issued the invoice, they suddenly become very slow to respond.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a definite red flag. And that is the case for me. I would be saying that needs to go to debt recovery because we'll quicken that up again. We'll get them talking by actions and doing things. So if you've had that, definitely get a debt collector in there, get us instructed, get us on the case, get us engaged with them.
No, that's fair. That is. I've never had anything to that degree because obviously a lot of our work is domestically. So our terms are, I turn up on this day, you pay me with the card machine, and I leave with the money. But obviously it's different to contracts. Never normally have issues with contracts. Sometimes they always take slightly longer, but I always account for that because it's usually a month or two out. But usually they're all right. I haven't, never had a job that's 30 grand like you mentioned ever. I'm not in that territory. No way.
I had a guy recently, and he came to me. He said, "I'm owed some money. I'm owed £160,000." I was like, "Okay," and that's not a phenomenal amount of money in our world. It's not phenomenal. I'm owed £160,000. I was like, "Okay, so what does your contract say?" And he went, "Contract." I went, "Yeah, your contract, your agreement." He went, "I ain't got a contract." And I was like, "You've done £160,000 worth of work, and you have no contract." Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, you're in trouble. You're in trouble." Yeah. The contracts are formed in different ways. You can have contracts formed in various ways, but having a written contract gives you peace of mind and lets you sleep well at night. So my advice is always get a contract.
Right. So here's one here connected. There's a regular on this that watches the podcast, Jackie. And she says, one of my main contracts pays 2 months later. And she says, it's not a problem to me as I'm getting regular payments. I just wonder, why can they decide their terms if I say her terms are 7 days?
Yeah. Well, the fact is they can't. They can't. But it's a balancing act, Jackie. I think from my perspective is, we have clients very similar. Our payment terms 7 days, but I have some clients that approached me and said, "Look, we pay our invoices on the 25th of every month. Are you okay with that?" And we go, "Yeah, that's fine." And they pay us every 25th of the month. And it's an exceptional agreement because we have regular work from them. So I think for that, they should be coming to you and saying, "Is that okay?" It's just courtesy. Ultimately, they should be paying you within 7 days. That's the contract. That's the agreement. But are you going to pull them up on it if they're giving you regular campaign you regularly? Probably not.
Exactly. No, it is true. It's not something, if they pay you regularly, it's not something you'll mention. But we get companies like, they put a bill in, he says, well, it says it was obviously a job we did, and it says within 1 day. I says, no, that's because on our scheduling thing, it's automatically in there. And we were like, no, you can pay us as normal, on the specific day in the month. That's fine.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the invoices we do on the day, they all say payment within 1 day.
Yeah.
But obviously, sometimes they get sent out to commercial clients. But we just ring and say it's fine to pay on that day you usually pay on. We do.
We get a lot of payment on completion. So payment on completion, that's a dangerous one because what happens is that they'll go, "Well, we don't think it's complete." So we're not paying you because it's not complete. So that's a
And
really big one.
Is that where the breakdowns can come? Because I look on a lot of pages of these, Mickey take pages where people they obviously black out the customers, but because they've done a breakdown, you were only there for you were there for a day. You quoted me too. I'm not paying the other half.
Yeah.
Things like that. But you pay for the result, not the.
Yeah.
That's why the breakdown shouldn't be done.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why you don't do the breakdown. If you just say, "I've quoted you for this. This is the quote." You know, I would quote something. I'd say, "Yeah, it's gonna cost you £1,000." That's the quote. If I come and do 12-hour shifts, are you going to pay me long? You're going to pay me more. If I come and do 6-hour shifts, you're going to pay me 2 days, or you're going to pay me 1 day. You just don't need to give that much detail, and they're not obliged to have it. You're not under any obligation to give it. So don't. My advice.
Yeah. No, you are right. It's I've never done this pay on completion, but I imagine in the building world, I would always want half up front. But you know, because they've got to show some kind of commitment. That shows commitment. That does. But I'm not in that world, so I don't.
No.
Works.
No,
I don't. Right. What should a business have in place before carrying out work to give itself the best protection? I know what you're going to say, but you can say it.
I've said some of this already. It might have.
You have. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll go through it again. So, what I would say is always get a contract. Now, a contract doesn't have to be what people think a contract is. It doesn't have to be a solicitor written contract. That does help. Having that helps you, because what it does, what a contract does like that is it gives you gives both parties actually the understanding of what is expected, what happens if things go wrong, what the expectations for payment terms are. It just gives a very overall view of a plan. So having that does help, but it's not the only way a contract can be formed. Even a text message, you know what? If you said to me, right, Pete, I'm going to come and I'm going to put poison around your garden, I'm going to clear your moles out, I'm going to do this and that, and you say it's £500 for the day, okay? And I say, brilliant, can you do that tomorrow? And you say, yeah, I'll be there tomorrow. That's a contract. That is a contract. So all you need to do is you need to have an offer and an acceptance. So an offer is this is what it is, and I say yes, that's what I want you to do. That's a contract. It's not the fully written contract like we'd like, but that will do. It's as a minimum, I would suggest having that. So quotes, put on a text message, and get an actual yes, please. I would like you to do that.
Okay.
Now,
that sounds
Now the other issues is what happens is you get there and they're not in because you haven't got a contract. That wouldn't be in there. A contract would say if we turn to your property and you're not there, then our fee is £200. So it's not £500, but it's £200 because we drove there, we spent our time, we spent our efforts, we spent our petrol. It's £200. So that's the difference between a contract and a text message. A contract would say that, a text message wouldn't say that.
That's true. And that's another reason where we basically domestics, we get paid on the first visit. And the reason is, believe us or not, when someone's paid you for a service, they will be in when you come next because they have paid you that money. They will make sure, and we've actually told customers that's why. I said, you want to really know why we do it first? I said, we're not on about you. It happened a few years ago. We kept doing it where we put at the end of the job. It's long before I was in the business, and then he started asking for payment up front. Suddenly, everyone was in because they paid the bill. So that's how it works. But also, Martin here, and he's right. In pest control, we generally call them agreements.
Yeah,
that's the word contract. We say service agreement. It is true.
Yeah,
you can use either word.
Yeah, terms T's and C's. I like T's and C's.
Yeah.
It doesn't say the dirty word, but it covers it. Service agreement, whatever it is you want to call it, it doesn't matter what you call it. But the actual thing is, it's a contract. So as long as you've got that, what I would also say is, if you do the work You know, I like customers who have pictures, done the pictures. So if you're doing something, picture, take a photo, save it on your phone, send it to your customer. It's then proof this has been done. Yeah. I like that. I think it's a really good thing to do because you actually demonstrating the work that's been done. They can have no grievance over you sending them a picture of the work that you've done.
It's quite easy with a lot of these softwares because they all allow. I should probably take more pictures more often, but I don't usually have the need to. But I can if I want to. Obviously, if I've got, say, proofing recommendations, I can pop it in. But nearly all of these softwares people use, you can take photographs.
Just Powered Now? Just Powered Now?
Yeah, you can do it on there, Powered Now. But I think it's a pretty basic function, photographs are.
Yeah.
But I imagine most of them do it. And yes, Jackie, they've got this ongoing laugh I have. Game Changer, Shaun, money up front. Because I say I don't like Game Changer, but I do like it when I find something game changing. Because what it is, normally when someone goes Game Changer, it's crap.
And just one other thing. So sometimes we like clients to have a sign-off sheet. So a sign-off, again, it's a sign-off sheet. It could be a sign-off text. Perfect. We've done this. Here's a proof. Here's the pictures. Are you happy with that?
Okay.
They say yes. Brilliant. They've no comeback. You're protecting yourself. There's no comeback from them saying.
Actually, good point there. Also, when it comes to, I want to get your view on this. Obviously, you've got AI. Can AI help you make a basic contract? Or should you get AI and then a solicitor to look at it or lawyer? Can you use basic ones? Because obviously you've got to be careful, haven't you?
There has been some, so I've worked very closely with the solicitor on this. And actually, the crazy thing is you can get AI to say anything you want it to say.
Yes.
Doesn't mean it's actually legally allowed. So it does do some bits. You just need to have a bit of nous to actually. What I would say is probably it's a difficult one. AI is good. AI is good, but it does make things up.
I don't know what case it was. There was a case where somebody had loads of in America. It's always in America, isn't it? These crazy
always
cases.
America.
And there was loads of citations to things this person had supposedly done that had never happened. And it was AI that had made it up. There had these pages and pages. And they actually looked into it, and AI had made all these things up.
So obviously being debt collectors, we write to people and saying, okay, you owe this money. And we can spot AI a mile away, an absolute mile away, because the right back to us saying, you haven't followed Civil Procedures Rule 6.2.3.4. And as soon as I say that, we go, that's AI, because nobody knows what Civil Procedures Rule 6.2.3.4 is. Yeah. Not even solicitors, they have to read it and check it.
We had someone do that to us because what was it? He was the only contact on the job. We had to go to a job second time. We got there early. They were supposed to be there at 8. We weren't there, but we still wanted paying for that call out. And the lad was getting worried because he's only a worker. He wasn't the actual boss. And he sent us a load of things. But in the end, delete my data. I didn't give you permission and all this. And in the end, the company paid it. He says, could you pay him? Because we were all nice in the Texas. The company paid it in the end, but you could see, I said to my dad, he's copying and pasting that off AI.
Yeah.
You can see it. A lot of people don't know. Also, like the long lines, if you leave them in it, that's a big sign.
Yeah, double hyphens, bold. You can spot it a mile away. We can spot it. And we actually use a quote saying, can you please have the decency not to reply with AI, because unfortunately it doesn't always tell the truth. So we just want you to actually have a decent conversation and have a chat about the situation. Also, is when we take you to court, AI can't defend you in court.
No, they can't. No.
So
they can't.
So when we sue you, that's what's going to happen. You have to actually do something about it. So let's stop with AI. Let's actually get this sorted.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask because it always comes up.
It does.
Oh, we've already mentioned that, I reckon. That one there. Verbal. So can if you're doing like urgent jobs, is a verbal agreement legal, or do you have to get something in place like a text, or because it's a hearsay, isn't it? Unless it's on paper.
Yeah,
A
thing is with the verbal is how do you prove it, and it can be he said, she said. So it's difficult. It is much more difficult. So I'd like to say to people, don't do a verbal. What you can do, and what I like to do, say to people, put your what did we call it? A service level agreement? Did we call it?
Well, you can call it anything really. Service level agreement.
Yeah, we put it on your website. So what I like to do is put it on your website. You don't have to put it on your contract, and what you put on your quote. So when you do a quote, you say, right, if you agree to this quote, you agree to our terms. Please visit ShaunMuller.co.uk.
Oh, that's interesting. That is.
And you can just refer them to it. Say if you want to see the terms on our website, please refer to our terms. So then you can say it's there. You've agreed to our quote. You've agreed to our terms, and then you can update them much easier. You don't have to print them out. They're there, and you can just say, right, the terms are on our website.
Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. That is, because we get jobs on a day, like we have recently. Say a wasp nest, and what we do is we tell them the price and what it will be. And then we just say to you, because you rang on the advertising number, I will send you a text message. And we put in a text message. If you wish to proceed with the job, please send your name, address, phone number, and email. Yeah. If you wish to proceed, and then they send it back. We put them in the system.
Brilliant.
So that would that be a contract?
Yeah, that would. That is a contract. Yeah, as long as you've got with contracts,
it doesn't pressure them. Obviously, you just say. Because I said to them, you can ignore us. You don't have to have us. You can ring around.
Like I said, the only thing with the text message situation. So what we like to say to people is, if you have a contract service level agreement or a terms and conditions, is that if you have a more substantial one, if you ever come to the point of using debt collection within your terms and conditions, you can actually refer to the debt collection fees being met by the debtor, the person. So you can actually refer to that and saying, if our payment terms are 7 days, if payment is not received within 7 days, we reserve the right to instruct the debt collector. The cost of this will be met by you. Perfect. So then what we do as debt collector, we say, brilliant, look at this contract. You agreed. It says here that you'll be paying our fees. Here we go. Here's our fees.
You find, though, a lot of people, it's like when I'm not saying in general, but a lot of people I find, they don't, like, you'll send them an appointment through and they'll click on it, but they don't read it all. So I reckon in that case, a lot of people might click, but not actually read it. They do.
Shaun, I've got a question for you. Do you ever read your Apple terms?
I haven't got Apple, but there's about 3,000 words.
It's about 3,000 pages, I think it is. It's ridiculous. Well,
you are right.
Anytime you do a software update on your Apple phone, you have to agree to the terms.
No, I get your point, but sometimes it's a minimal little bit of text. It's not much there, but but so let's have a look. What have you got any unusual? Obviously, don't mention that. Any unusual or difficult cases you've ever had?
Yeah, I had a case, and like I said, I can't mention too much about it.
No, don't mention that.
But I had a case for a guy, and the guy was a customer of ours. He's still a customer of ours, let's say. Yeah. He is an investor. He invests his money into property developers. Now, not relevant for you guys, but it's quite an interesting story. And chasing this guy, I don't know how much it was, £80,000 it was. I basically had not paid back this guy. He was doing some property development on a big property, and he was developing this. They were like, okay, and then the client was like, look, I want my money back. He's supposed to be back 3 months ago. He hasn't done it. Can we get the money back? Okay. And the absolute balls of the debtor when he turned up on Rich House Poor House as the Rich House.
Oh, right.
As the Rich House, saying how fabulous he was and how wealthy he was, telling us he couldn't afford to put petrol in his car.
Oh, okay.
But actually, he was on Rich House Poor House. Very quickly, we raised this issue with him, and we
Paid
said,
the bill.
"Yeah, pay the bill, and he paid it, and our fees, significant fees. Our client was like, "I want everything. I want every penny back."
Yeah.
And he I think he paid 20,000 in fees.
Wow, crazy.
That's not the debt; that is fees alone.
Oh,
the contract had everything in there. It had solicitors' fees, legal fees, interest, debt recovery. It had everything. So we did it. It was like, yeah, you owe us another 20 grand. And he was like, what? I can't believe it. Like, yeah, well, we're going to bankrupt you if you don't pay it. So this is where we are. And yeah, he paid it. He paid it all, which was, yeah, it was a great job. Really good job. Much fun. Enjoyed it very much.
Yeah, I bet you were quite smug with that, weren't you?
Yeah, I was very pleased with that. My quote is, my job is like playing poker with somebody else's money.
Yeah.
That's kind of my quote. I like poker. I like card games. So yeah, it's like playing poker with somebody else's money. That's how it is my job.
That's good. That is. It's yeah, that was an interesting one. That was there he is on TV.
Yeah, on TV. Honestly, I've watched it and I'm just like, I am absolutely shocked that you've got the balls to tell me you're absolutely broke and then you're on TV.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's crazy. That is.
It's not fair. It's not fair. I just don't believe that the people should be doing stuff like that. If you're on TV and you're doing stuff like that, I don't know. I understand that people are, TV is not all real. I understand all that. He said to me, look, it's not all real. It's TV, blah, blah, blah. I was like, but the balls of you, just massive kahunas to do something like that. But it didn't work for him. So there we go. It was all
obviously
fun.
Not.
No.
It's obviously not. No.
It was good.
Obviously, we've talked a lot on this podcast about how to... So, what is the ways? Obviously, if you don't know anything, if you never took anyone to small claims, you've not contacted debt recovery, what are the ways you shouldn't try and get money out of them?
Well,
to go around with a baseball bat.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. We get a lot of people. So a lot of people go, oh, just go rip it out. Whatever it is, just go rip it out. You've fitted something, go rip it out. Do not rip it out.
Criminal damage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's criminal damage. It's breaking, entering, and criminal damage. Just don't do it. It's just not worth. I've seen people. I saw a guy. There was a guy a few years ago. I'm not sure if you've seen it, but a guy called. I think he was called John. They called him Digger John. They called him.
Oh, was he the digger guy?
There's a guy in the travel lodge.
Yeah,
drove through a travel lodge.
And
the ironic thing about it is he'd been paid at about 45 minutes earlier.
Did you not know?
No, didn't know. He drove it straight through travel lodge, and I think he got 3 years inside. And he'd been paid
to give him the money back, didn't he?
God knows, but he definitely.
Wow, that's crazy.
Stretch inside.
The problem is nowadays, when you see them videos, you don't know sometimes if they're just made up. You think, I'll smash these up a bit, then I'll go and fix it after.
That was real.
Get some clicks in. Oh, no, that was real.
That was real. I've seen a few different things. I've seen people smashing up like patios and stuff like that. It's just not worth it. I understand it's stressful for people. That's why, like debt collectors, as I say, they take that emotion out.
Yeah.
Get into a debt collector. Get some action in there. Get it resolved. That's my advice. We have I've got a great team who are very, very, they understand the law. We're not legal trained, we're not solicitors, but we're debt collectors. We understand the law and the best actions to take. People do try to do it themselves, and as with everything, there's always a DIY way of everything. I get some gas engineers who go, I can do it myself. Yeah, I could probably fit a boiler myself. I'd probably kill all my family, but I could fit a boiler, but
to be fair, with that one, you could actually get locked up. I think with gas, you can't touch it.
You can.
However, I had my mate on here. He's actually a local business. I actually had an electrician on there for my local area, mate of mine.
All right.
And I didn't know this. You could actually legally do your own electrics without. There's no law that can get you done. Wow. Says, you joking? He went, no. He says, I've been to save some houses where the person had done the electrics themselves.
Wow.
So what, is that legal? He went, yeah, it's any gas we can get arrested for doing your own gas. He says it's not regulated like you think. If you're an electrician, you have to have all the regs, etc.
Yeah.
But he says if you're someone messing about at home and you own your own home, there's nothing. you burn your house down, he says that's on you.
That's crazy.
That's mental.
Yeah.
That's but no, it's
so yeah, like I say, we debt recovery. There's always a DIY option. It's honestly the amount of claims that we get that are wrong, and the worst case is you do it wrong. You spent that money and the time doing it, and then you've put the wrong address, or you've put the wrong name, or you've spelt something wrong. It's just honestly, we see it so much. So much that people make mistakes. You know, stick to what you're good at. If you're good at what you do, stick to it. Let somebody do it who's a professional. That's my advice.
Okay. Do you, obviously, when you do debt collecting, do you actually speak to people on the phone as well?
Oh, yeah. That's the best.
Do people ever get aggressive on the phone? Or I ain't in paying you like that?
Rarely.
Okay.
We do. Thing is, because of like I said about motive, we're not angry people. We're debt collectors. We're not angry. It's not our money, so we don't use our emotion. What we do, we use legal terms, legal terminology. Look, if you don't do this, then what's going to happen is, and it sounds really bad, but we use a good cop, bad cop basis. It works very well. We use a good cop, bad cop. So
do you have, sorry as well, to jump in there, do you have a way of verifying who you are? Because you get a lot of calls these days of scammers pretending to be recovery companies.
Yeah, no.
How do you get around that? How do I know you're real?
Well, people can Google us. You know, we have a big social media following. You know, we've got about 90,000 across various platforms. So people can Google us. You know, we have a Google account. We're a limited company. We know we have various things that are there. We're also Chartered Institute of Credit Management registered as well. So we're chartered. So there is different things they can do to find out.
Nice.
But actually on the phone, there's nothing you can do to get you there.
You just say, could you ring our official phone number and find our website? Yeah,
people do.
You're not happy.
People do say, "Oh, well, who are you? Are you not a scammer?" And they say, "No, look, Google us, find out who we are. This is who we are. You know, I've sent you a letter, I've sent you an email. Check out our website, check out our domain, check out our social media, check out our reviews. Off you go. It's there." Chartered Institute of Credit Management. You know, we've got a fellowship of the Chartered Institute of Credit Management, which is the highest you can get in there. So yeah, lots of things in there.
Just thought I'd ask because, you know, I get them people ring me every day.
Yeah.
Claiming they're the free network.
Yeah.
And I go, are you really? Yeah. All right, if you're free, who am I? And they can't tell me. Oh, well, I'm actually a third party for free.
Yeah.
And they hang up in the end because I go, you're not free.
No.
All the other ones got bells on it.
Yeah. Another thing with debt collectors, if you ever go to a debt collector that's asking you for money up front, don't deal with debt collectors that want money up front, because if they want money up front, they're going to do no work. If they take your money off you, don't pay for it. It's quite common. When we set up, we looked at the best options and what we wanted to do. We wanted to get paid for doing a good job and do a good job and get paid for it. I didn't want to take money off people up front, so yeah, we didn't do that. And it was just part of that kind of ethos that we just wanted to do a good job really for people. So yeah, that's how we are. We're set up like that, and you know there is a certain amount of risk as a business. You've obviously got to look at it and think, you know, you're getting paid on results. But if a good debt collector is doing a good job of getting paid, and we're getting customers paid, then we're getting paid.
Exactly.
So a good result, and you know we always try and collect our fees well, but that's why you need a contract, because if your contract allows debt recovery fees, you actually get our service for nothing. It costs you nothing if it's in your contract. If it's not in your contract, you've got to pay for it. So that's why contracts are worth its money. It might save that debt recovery fee.
I actually think that one tip alone that you mentioned about if you've got your paperwork and you've got a link to a page, I think that there is amazing, because you could have, without having to fit everything on the page, you could say, click this link to your website. And it's all there. I think that's a great tip.
It's what we do. So our business. So if you want to instruct us as a debt recovery business, we send you a link, send you a web link out. You fill out our form. It's on the website. If you want to do it, click this. You agree to our terms on the website. It saves it. It records it. It tells you who you are. We have a contract. That contract is there for you to read first, and then when you agree, it's sent to you again. So you've got it twice. Okay. There's never any quibbles about it. It's really obvious. You've agreed our terms. You click a box that says, I agree to your terms and conditions.
Okay.
You got to spell it out for people, unfortunately, sometimes in this world. So we set it out really clearly because that's our specialism. It's what we do. So if ours isn't clear, then how can we expect our clients to be clear? So we're very clear on our terms.
That's true. So I'm going to ask you one question. I know the answer again. If you were to give one tip to all business owners, whatever they are, pest, any industry, to improve how to get their money, what would you say?
Oh, right. I'm trying to think of something a bit more controversial now. I think something a bit different. Get a relationship with a good debt collector.
Thank you.
Get a relationship with a good debt collector who will work hard to keep you getting paid. And yeah, I think that's the best advice. Contracts are great. We've done the contract thing. We've said all about the terms. Get a good debt collector. Every business needs a debt collector. It's like car insurance. You don't need car insurance until you crash. It's very similar. But the best thing about debt collection over car insurance you pay for it every month. Debt collection, you pay for it when you need it.
Exactly. Yeah, no, good advice there. But yeah, I think do you feel we've missed anything?
I don't think we have. We have a little think about, no, I think that's it really. I think we've covered most things. We've gone through debt collection, I've gone through legal actions, talk about legals. We work with a firm of solicitors to do legal actions. Yeah. We do everything in relation to debt recovery. So when if a client comes to us and we don't do it, I'd be very surprised because we do everything that's debt collection based. So
it must be bad if you don't take it.
Well, we do. So we don't have a lower value. So we take low value debts because at the end of the day, people need the money. And it's not like some debt collections won't take debts under £700. We'll take debts at £100 because at the end of the day, small businesses need that capital and need that working capital to continue.
Would it be worth it? Like for £100, would that be worth it for the employee?
Yeah, I do. I think it is worth it. What you've got to do is you've got to think, financially, what's the return for me? Like I said about terms, if you have debt recovery fees in there, you get our fees and you get your money back. It's worth it because you're getting your money clean, you're getting your money, no costs, you just get your money back. I'd always say I wouldn't take any legal action because that's costing you money. But it's always worth a punt, a £100, £200 debt. It's always worth a punt because at the end of the day, it's your money. You've done the job. You deserve that money. Why should they have it? Why should the debtors not pay you? I don't agree. I don't agree with it. I really don't. So I think
I'll just playing devil's advocate there. To see what you'd say.
All good. I understand. I think low value stuff is the bit that's a bit more tricky. Clients who have low value debts are a bit more hard. They're a bit harder to work with because they expect a Ferrari service and with a Fiesta budget. So you've got to kind of manage expectations a little bit and say, look, we're not going to kill ourselves over your £100. We want to collect it. We'll do what we do. What we've done is with our system, we've actually automated lower value debts. So we have an automation. Okay. We were talking about AI earlier, talking about that. We have an automation which sends out text messages, it sends out emails, sends out letters, it sends out everything, but it's through an automation. So actually, the cost for us is less. So then we can put that back into the client's pocket and we're giving it back to the client. So it's much easier to do it that way. So
do you do a lot of debt collection? I'm not saying you do, but a lot of debt collection agencies offer the debtors, people that owe the money. Are you one of these like big ones that a lot of them offer payment plans for people if they can't afford it all? So you do that to some people.
So we do take payment plans, but we have a really strict guideline on payment plans. So ultimately, it's not our decision what the payment plan looks like. Yeah. It's down to the client. So whether it's taken or not, it's down to the client. So if the client says, I want a payment plan, I want to do that, great. Some of our customers want a payment plan, and actually they want to say, right, let's do a payment plan. We'll do it over 3 months. Let's get this bang, bang, bang. Yeah. Great. Some customers, not a chance. Don't want a payment plan. I want it paid in full. I'd rather take a slight reduction and it paid in full. I'd rather not 20% off and actually paid in full rather than doing 100%. So it's down to the customer. Down to the customer. We have no opinion on that because it's not our money. Anything like that is always down to the customer.
Okay. I think I've got my wires crossed here. I think I'm talking about catalogue companies that sell their debt off. I've got my wires crossed there.
Debt purchase. Now, debt purchase companies is another different thing. So debt purchase, they buy debt. So they buy volume debt and they buy it in the millions for pennies in the pound. They buy it for pennies in the pound, and they basically just what they do is, right, I bought it at 10p in a pound, but I need to collect it at 15p in a pound and I get a return on it. And that's what they do.
See. Okay.
That's not.
I got my wires completely crossed there, sorry.
We don't do that. Different market. Yeah.
So
it's not worth selling your debt. If you have a debt, say if your debt £5,000, you get 500 quid back.
Oh no, you don't want that, do you? No.
It's a rubbish return. It's a terrible return.
Jason's happy with this podcast. I have just put debt collection fee as an extra cost into my contract now. Great, thanks, Peter.
Good stuff.
There you go. Helped someone already, that has.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on.
Anytime.
Pete, it's been good to speak to you.
And to
you. Do you want to plug your services? I will. After the podcast, I will drop the links into the show notes, etc., so people can check you out or use it in the future.
Yeah, people can give me a follow on Facebook. We're on Facebook. We have a big following on Facebook. Got a couple of pages on Facebook. We've got a Beaumont Recoveries Facebook page, which is our business page. We also have a bit more of a fun page, let's say. It's called Non-Payers and Nightmare Customers on Facebook. It's got 53,000 people in there, so all talking about their non-payers and their nightmare customers. So give that a follow. It's an interesting page. You get to see all sorts.
Is that a page?
It is a page. It's a community.
I think I follow that.
You are in there. I've seen you. It's my page.
Oh, it's your page.
It's my page.
It's very good. That's where I was getting a lot of the messages from. There's something interesting every single day on there.
Yeah, it's my page. It's my page. Now, people, I had a guy recently. I'll tell you this really quick story. We're dragging on a little bit, but I had a guy fairly recently who posted in there. Bear in mind, I authorize all the posts in there. Yeah. So he put this post up saying, "This page is run by Pete Beaumont of Beaumont Recoveries." So I was like, okay. So I messaged him saying, I can't remember his name. I'll use Michael for this instance. Michael, I've seen your post. Just wondering, what's your issue? Well, I think it's underhand that you're doing this post. Says, not really. It's just a community for people to go vent about their experiences with their non-payers and the nightmare customers. It's just community. Off you go. Yeah. He says, you won't dare post this.
You did.
Oh, yeah, I did. And you know what? I had people going, you think you broke the matrix? We all knew that Pete run this page. He's run it for years and it's brilliant. Yeah. And then there are people going, this is not underhand. This is brilliant marketing. Well done, Pete. And the amount of people were just, the guy left. He got abused that much. He left. He took himself off and left the group. Wow. But it was quite funny. It was amusing experience. And then we had Shedgate. Shedgate in there, which was quite interesting. That went viral. It used to be a closed community. It's now an open page. We had Shedgate. We had a guy who built a shed. The girl didn't pay him, but then he posted pictures of the shed, and everybody hounded him because there was gaps and cracks, and it wasn't plumb and it wasn't square. And then one of our community actually said to the lady, "I will come and build you a shed for free," and he went and built a shed for free in the community. So it's a really good place for people to go and share and talk about their experiences.
There you go. You might get some more people join based off this podcast. So
absolutely.
But thanks for coming on, and I will drop all the links, the link in the description. And you never know, I might be using your services in the future.
Well, anytime.
And anyone else that listens. But
perfect. Thank you.
But thanks for coming on, Pete. It's been great to talk to you. I'll just end the stream and just stay on for a second.
No problem.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll be back next Tuesday. So thanks everyone for watching.